Alrighty, welcome back. We are on episode 155. Last episode, we finished off the tribute to the memory quest, which was finding all the dog tags. And basically, I've been trying to tie up loose ends, and there are just so many loose ends in the game, and no explanation on how to tie them up. Like this chick here, she mentioned something about cursed seeds. Haven't seen a cursed seed, and don't know what the fuck they are. She's the only one that mentions them. Um, Servo shell. Um, I can't upgrade to 3, even though I have the component that you need to upgrade the servo shell. But there are not enough components in the world to upgrade it to the 3rd. Then there's also all these color schemes that I have for the servo shell, which I can't apply to the servo shell at all. I think the servo shell mechanic all the way around in this game has been horrible in the way it's been implemented. But, I'm looking at feeling like I'm at the end of the game. Maybe I'm not at the end of the game. Maybe it just widens out, but it seems like I'm at the end of the game. The other thing is, what's the point of becoming the sheriff here?
Forgot something?
Or mayor, sorry.
Later.
Then there's the whole faction where your reputation, it just doesn't seem like I'm able to get any more reputation at this point, so I can't see what Fox would have to say. As far as the factions here, I mean, uh, there didn't seem to be any way to get the FOP faction up other than the one encounter where you send the guy to the FOPs and you get 15 for that. I mean, I don't know. This seems like they stopped trying to develop the game at some point and just said fuck it. That's what it feels like. And now basically I'm at the point where I'm saying fuck it too, because there's just no way to tie up these loose ends. There's also the thing in the lab in Magellan where you've got the Mobius walking around and you supposedly can find a Mobius arm. Oh shit, I can't find a Mobius. So it's like, whatever. I'm gonna walk one more time up this way and just head to where we are going to go to complete the quest and continue from there and say fuck it, because it just doesn't make any sense. So, where is this at actually, now that I'm thinking about this? Where am I going? Here. Alright. Okay. Alright. So now we'll go talk to the factions and see what they have to say and move on. At this point, I just don't see any point in selling, buying, doing anything. Yeah, whatever.
Not now. Hey there.
Spencer nods at you indifferently.
Not now.
And again, what was the point of the whole elections and whatnot with Zemeckis and Carmine Heights?
The Phalanx camp is militarily ascetic, but even it bears some semblance of comfort. A table with a lamp and some documents is standing by the fire, and a golden statue of Christ is sitting in a chair nearby. Zemeckis himself is reclining in another chair, sipping peacefully at his tea from a small cup. Zemeckis greets you with a small, sarcastic smile.
Look who's here. I guessed you were still deciding whose side you're on. But it seems you've finally come to a realization. Or you are just weighing your options. It's probably one of those two things.
Noting your interest, the head of the Phalanx jokes around for a while, dodging the question, but finally bursts out laughing.
You are a goddamn fountain of charm, aren't you? I admit, I have my doubts. But I was looking forward to meeting you anyway. I have an offer to make. And it has to do with...
Hieronymus jerks his thumb in Maelstrom's direction.
The Maelstrom is, so to say, an omnipotent, endless source of information. We are all connected to it, unwillingly, in a two-direction way. Receive and pass data. Actually, the Maelstrom contains all our thoughts and deeds. And if we approach it with proper analysis, it will show our nearest future as well.
Zemeckis puts his fingers together and stares at the ceiling, thoughtful.
What ceiling?
I'd like to tell you a secret.
He says, after a long pause.
My engineers and programmers created a system capable of analyzing data from the Maelstrom and turning it into predictions. The only thing left, the most important thing to be precise, is to obtain it.
Obtain them. Obtain it.
Zemeckis moves the flap of his coat aside. You notice a gun in his waist belt and a small knife on his thigh. However, he doesn't reach for the weapons. He produces a small device from his pocket, looking like a modified relic. The Phalanx leader hands you the device and pats you on the arm reassuringly.
Here your part begins. Taking this device to the center of the Maelstrom will be a piece of cake for you. I won't insist on you making your decision here and now. Take your time. But think. If we know the results of our actions, we will become gods.
Okay. Quite surprising he has such advanced technology, if you want to know the truth.
Back to have a cup of tea with Mr. Christ. You're always a welcome guest for me. Sit down, please.
Zemeckis lifts his cup in a greeting and smiles.
Okay. Nope. Yep. Moving on.
Employee.
Drawls Reverend Santiago, breaking into a happy smile.
I've been awaiting your arrival. Why, our whole community is waiting for your mission to Maelstrom. You are our best hope.
He pats you on the shoulder with a smile that never wavers or fades.
Okay.
A hologram of a tall, gray-haired old man in scarlet robes approaches you slowly and solemnly. He stretches out a thin arm, his fingers barely touching your face.
The one who lived through the Maelstrom. So, here we meet at last.
We've already met. What?
His expression is almost tender.
Nakamura made you serve anyone and everyone, so you wouldn't be free to choose a side. But I see that in your heart you've chosen us. You didn't come here simply out of curiosity. You're trying to puzzle out what to do with Maelstrom. And I have the answer.
The old man smooths his robes with flowing motions.
The Church's position regarding the Maelstrom is long since expressed. We consider the Maelstrom neither good nor evil. It is just a calculating machine fulfilling its prescribed function, though it is capable of performing other operations too.
The abbot bends toward you, scrutinizing your face with his intimidating dark eyes.
Here is what we intend to do. Change the Maelstrom's program. As far as I understand, you are the only one capable of it. That is why you are here. I am here. And all those people wishing to control the Dome are here too. While none of them comes here meaning peace, no one gives promises of a better life, or decreasing the tension of political opposition. No. Each one speaks only of power they need, obviously only to continue their political games from a stronger position.
He whispers, never moving his stare from your face, his voice hypnotic.
You are tired. You seek to hasten with your decision to make it all end. However, it will not end, only moving the conflict to another level once one of the sides have the advantage of the maelstrom. That is what anyone would do. Anyone but the Church. You took part in our sermons and you know where the calculating capacity will go. We shall open our world to everyone. Make it beautiful. Better than it is now.
The excited abbot falls silent. His thin fingers fiddle with the folds of his robes.
I remember your speech during the Mass. I had the feeling that you, though maybe only partially, shared our ideals. Yet now is the time when simply sharing or even supporting the Church's views is not enough. Now is the time to make decisions.
The abbot waves his translucent hand, leaving a glowing scarlet trail.
I have sent you a special program. If you manage to adjust it to the maelstrom's frequency, its entire calculating capacity will be in the Church's order. That would be a great gift to all mankind. Think about it.
The abbot looks at you in a friendly manner, but something intimidating can be seen through his every motion.
Okay. Alright, well, we know what goes on here. Alright.
A roughly nailed together wooden stage hangs over the yelling and shifting crowd of fops. A makeshift guillotine with an enormous blade standing on top of it. Standing on the scaffold, Victoria waves at you.
Hey, Knight! I knew you would be here and would come to serve your queen one last time.
Victoria looks at the guillotine.
This is as obvious as it is right, Knight. You will carry me to the maelstrom.
She frowns, adjusting her crown, which slipped sideways a bit.
That is curious, even. Why those stupid questions, Knight? Could a queen want anything other than that?
Victoria curtsies awkwardly beside the guillotine.
Oh, yes, yes, Knight. I recall that day myself. It flatters me, of course, that you kept a memory of my audience in your heart. Though I cannot quite grasp what you are getting at.
The Queen shakes her head in discontent.
Oh, no, Knight. You are wrong. My crown makes you fulfill my orders. And here is my order. Carry me to the damned maelstrom, Knight.
I thought we can try to talk her out of it.
The young woman claps her hands.
Great. Trump, elephant.
She says to a nearby fop wearing a gas mask with a long dangling trunk.
The time of the final speech has come. Hey, all of you, listen to your queen's address.
Legrand steps back from the edge of the scaffold and adjusts her crown. She throws her head back and stares at the guillotine blade frozen against the sky. She looks over the crowd of fops, standing straighter.
My beloved subjects, when we started our great expedition following the leaving Maelstrom, I used to ask myself, how did it all begin? Not the expedition, but the events before it. How did we all happen to come together? Several sleepless nights, and some candy floss gave me the answer. We are together because each of us always had a penchant for power, and had the innate feeling of where to find it.
She approaches the edge of the stage again, hovering above her army.
A crowd is power, and therefore the crowd we form is growing bigger each day. Knives and guns are power, and therefore we have loads of them. Maelstrom is power, and therefore we followed it, found it, and it won't escape us ever again.
Accompanied by the fop's excited yells, Victoria points her finger at the maelstrom spinning above the ruined remnants of Concord.
Power is the answer to any question, the solution to any problem. If you dwell on a scrap of land on the west, you will only need power to take over the entire dome. If you have strange dreams of a past you can neither remember nor forget properly, you only need power to create a present where no past would matter.
With that, Victoria kneels before the guillotine.
Come, Knight.
She says softly, settling on the apparatus wooden bedding.
When it is over, carry me to the maelstrom.
Metal rings hold her arms tightly. Raising her head for the last time, Victoria cries, addressing the crowd.
My beloved subjects, today I will go to the maelstrom to bring its power to you.
The sharp guillotine blade drops with a whistle and a clang. Victoria's chopped-off head bounces right into your hands. The crowd of fops behind you bursts out with exultation.
Ha-ah!
See, it makes it seem like you could save her. I thought I could. I wonder, can I save her or not? If I reload, No, because last time when we tried to not agree with them, they attacked us. So yeah, whatever. Moving on.
Not now. Not now.
Hugging her shoulders, Karma Ishtwani paces nervously around the camp. You approach. Karma's wearing an expression of contentment instead of her usual contempt.
I don't want to rush to any conclusions. Things may still change, but so far your influence on Carmine Heights has been exceptionally positive.
We chopped the wrong woman's head off.
Olivia Reisner, now looking much fresher, younger, and happier, meets you near her tent.
Ah, you can't even imagine how happy I am to see you. I knew you'd show up. I need to discuss something with you. This involves Maelstrom.
She says with a smile. The woman's face becomes a little sad.
I did at first. Thought I just overreacted. But now a thought occurred to me. If everything broke apart, maybe it just wasn't the right thing for me. Then it's all right. We're better off without one another. He'll do well. He'll pursue science like before, no one distracting him. The family life was a burden to him, I can see that much.
She falls silent and forces a smile. The blue answers almost without thinking.
People are tired of all that. Whether we want it or not, the dome is our home now. See? And we should clean our home and make it comfortable. Provide the conditions for life, work, and so on. We're now living out of our suitcases, one can say. That won't do.
She looks at you, her eyes gleaming with excitement.
If the Maelstrom is indeed that intelligent, and it might be, given it's a program like a computer, then let it make the dome a suitable place for living. We want to bear children, grow crops, make it feel like a home.
Since when did they all figure out that it's a computer program? Because up until this point, that was not 100% known to be the case. And no one really mentioned that it was. Suddenly, though, they all know it's a program. I mean, what the fuck?
Olivia nods vigorously toward an empty chair.
Don't stand, please sit. No food, but I can offer you some whiskey. Did you want anything?
Henrietta, wearing a white wing field service dress, greets you with a mock military salute.
I report. Everything's functioning. There are certain problems, but overall, everything works as expected.
She looks at the ruins in the distance.
All of this infrastructure still looks awesome. I hope one day we can build something just as impressive.
I think I should be talking to her yet.
Well, what again? I hope we won't see you again.
Audrey studies the foothills near the station ruins, squinting.
This place could have become another neutral zone. I'm thinking about it all the time for some reason.
There was someone that's asked us, the guy at the weapon shop, Bradbury, I think it was, asked us to talk to her, but this doesn't appear to be an option here, huh?
Melville looks around.
I envy the people who built Concord. Firstly, they had the freedom the late Cronus could never dream of. And secondly, they had freedom. There's no secondly for us, you see? They traveled here for the future, for discoveries, not for dictators and bureaucracy. It was the only time when the development of the dome was what it should have been.
A spark flashes in her eyes.
Is that so? I never thought you'd understand. You want to know what I'd do with Maelstrom if I were you?
Audrey looks down.
Maelstrom may be a great advantage, or even a weapon, if in wrong hands. We must make sure that it wouldn't begin to grow uncontrollably again. Then weaken it, and give it some more space, so that no force, like the new committee or the Phalanx, would be able to take everything for themselves. I don't impose my opinion, but the more the entire dome will resemble Picnic, the better and quieter our lives will be.
She looks up and stares you in the eyes, as if to be sure you stand with her. Audrey studies the foothills near the station ruins, squinting.
This place could have become another neutral zone. I'm thinking about it all the time for some reason.
Welcome back. Goodbye.
Oh, you again. Yes, you get out. Now.
Why do you keep bothering me? I hope we won't see you again.
Nakamura is already waiting for you, cold and straight-backed as usual, standing with her arms folded. She greets you with a nod. Her face is bearing a condescending expression.
I value your help for the new committee, but punctuality isn't your strong suit. Are you ready to proceed to the next stage of your mission? Where are you going? I said we need to discuss something.
Kimiko snaps. Her bodyguard blocks your way, making you stop. Nakamura gestures you to sit down, though she herself remains standing.
I'd like to talk about your action at the closing stage of the operation. What you need to do when you contact the Maelstrom.
The Silver remains silent for a few moments, gathering the appropriate words.
The emulator project was founded to take the Maelstrom under control for the safety of the dome's inhabitants. And I will not let this control slip into the hands of dubious people. I don't care if someone assumes it to be hijacking. For me, the result is crucial, and there can be neither compromises nor half measure in this matter. I don't care whether or not you believe my course to be right. You're not supposed to give me evaluations. You only must do what I say.
Nakamura's yellow bionic eye turns a bit on its axis, aiming at you. Sable brings her a case. Kimiko clicks the turn locks open, lifts the lid, and unfolds the case, showing you its contents. There's a helmet with cables and controllers lying inside. The chairwoman pushes the case toward you.
It's kind of an emulator early version, only much weaker. I need you to link it directly to the Maelstrom. Do you understand the task?
Kimiko shakes her head negatively.
No. Each such helmet is adjusted individually to the user's brainwaves. If reset, it should be reconnected to the Maelstrom too.
Nakamura turns the helmet to show you the folded transmitter unit antenna.
As soon as you connect it, I'll be able to send signals to the Maelstrom.
The Silver looks at the device.
I'm no engineer. I don't know all its nuances. I do know, however, that Henrietta was going to adjust it right to the Maelstrom's frequency. She had a colleague, a friend, who tried to do that. He failed, but you will succeed.
She closes the case and pushes it toward you.
That's it then. Get ready and set about the task.
Nakamura steps aside and freezes, arms folded.
Whatever you think, I do this for the new committee's sake,
she says softly as you move away.
Okay.
So, where were we? Later.
Do you remember the instruction concerning the helmet?
Nakamura cocks her head inquiringly, staring at you.
Okay. So we talked with Phalanx, the committee, the Picnic Pops, Maelstrom Church, and Carminites. Alright.
Russo is deep in some calculations on her Kairos.
If it can be of use. The equipment registers very high radiation sometimes. As if the Maelstrom's activity hasn't decreased, but something's blocking it. You'll have an opportunity to learn what it is exactly.
The White produces her Kairos.
Now this is the right question. Do you remember me saying there were certain problems? Well, technically everything's perfect. But I still can't connect the emulator to the Maelstrom. The Maelstrom's obviously much more compressed than I thought it was. However, I managed to define its precise coordinates.
Russo clicks some buttons.
The Maelstrom is now where the Concord Station landing ground once was. You remember the station? I hope you won't be knocked out with an attack of nostalgia, because you'll have to come to grips with the Maelstrom. Maybe then I'll be able to establish the connection.
Russo looks toward the horizon.
As a scientist, I think more and more often that we shouldn't switch it off. If we do take the Maelstrom under control, we'll be able to get much more knowledge out of it than we can now. That might break new ground in science. But maybe I'm just an idealist in red socks.
Okay, so apparently we have another option. Alright, so I guess we're heading to down here somewhere. Is this the way out or the way in? I guess it's down this way. So, likely we're going to have to make a single decision about what to do once we get to wherever we're going. And since all the factions are alive, and for the most part, I guess, could pick any of them. Smell of memories. I guess I talked to this guy. Alright, so that is that. We're going to go ahead and end the episode here.
Our sergeant had one of those.
And to pick up the next episode with Door to Concord. Alright, later guys.